All right. Why am I talking like pretending people are actually following this? Let's see. I have to have my iPad checking what you guys are either answering or commenting or watching. So I like to. Hi, hello, Conzilla. Oh, geez, there's an echo. Okay. Hey, Tom, how are you doing? I have to lower the volume. Did you see that Robin Hood animation I posted on Facebook? That was just awesome. All right, so it's it's from the Nine Old Men, I guess, the guys who animated the classic Robin Hood, right? Whoops. One day I'll have to show you that system of mine to hold the camera. That's something. All right. Nope. You should see how it looks. It's, how do you call it? Retro technology. Something like that. Oh, the animation. It's from the classic guys from Disney. It's on my Facebook page. All right. Milk call, exactly. I had a friend when I used to work at Disney in France, Stéphane Sainte-Foy. When he went to the morgue at Disney, he got me a copy of Shere Khan in the Jungle Book. Oh my god, that was just so good. All right, how is that, guys? Is this good? I'm trying to secure that around my... It's actually a tripod resting on my shoulder. Low tech. I'm telling you, low tech. There's no way this is gonna hold. Hold on. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna get those shadows a little bit more. A little bit darker. And then I'm gonna highlight everything with an actual a pencil. The good old-fashioned way. the darker the shadow is going to be, the more dramatic the effect will be. I just saw past a message saying Carrie is thick. Do you mean on this illustration or in the comic book? Anyways, it's every artist's own interpretation of the character. It also depends sometimes on the mood. It might seem like she's thick, but you'll notice the arms later when I'll get into the details. This is actually something that's going to be no, I know. It's just it might be something that has to do with the lens of the camera, but and the shadow here. But when I'm gonna refine all the outline with pencils, that might make her look a little bit thinner, because you can see her chest, for example, like her upper body is actually pretty thin, and this needs to be squeezed because she's folding her calves under her thighs, so that kind of like presses on the flesh. Something animators can relate to, right, guys? One of the first laws of animation you get to learn: stretch and squash. Yep, exactly. Alright, so now that I've done some dark shadows over, cast shadow of the cape, of the sleeves on the cape, I kind of have to do the same here. The dreaded, flour sack exercise. Well, that's what we start up with. We started up with at Les Gobelins, which is the French school for animation. That was like the first animation exercise. In our case, it was just like we had to animate a ball, a bouncing ball, and you had to suggest that either it was a hard bowling ball or something lighter that would bounce back, or something that would just fall flat on the floor and just maybe bounce once more, and that was it. Like one of those bean bags. Alright. So as I was saying the other day, this is a work in progress. I'm not talking about the art, but the installation, so you'll have to excuse me if things get like ill-prepared. For now, I'm trying to find the right support for the camera, so I don't have to worry about holding it, aiming right. This is something that I'm gonna fix this weekend for the next pieces I'll be drawing. Yeah. So I progressively made this area in the back, the cast shadow of the arm, darker. So what was kind of like something that could be anticipated at the beginning with the markers, which is they get dark when you apply them on the paper, and then the alcohol evaporating, the color actually becomes what it should be, is something that is easier to anticipate when you start with the first flat gray that you're putting on the piece. And then as you have different layers of different gray tones, it becomes harder to anticipate. For example, I put a gray number 4 here. This is a gray number 2. I'm blending it with a gray number 3, obviously. But sometimes you like, maybe I want to put a little bit extra 2 here to blend a little bit more. And it's harder and harder to anticipate how the the ink is gonna spread and actually work with what's already been on the paper. Now here, for example, you see there's a lighter area, and that is actually inherent to the flow of the ink in the pen. Sometimes the paper can also be behaving weird, and you don't want to put too much so that it would drag some attention here. Also, sometimes the nib could be in a very bad shape, and you have to replace those every once in a while. So they leave marks. The secret being, anyway, you have to have a marker, a tool, whatever tool it is. You always have to have a tool in the best condition possible. Every part is replaceable now. So if you take good care of your tools, you'll have them for a long time. That's one less worry you'll have when you want to start a piece. Alright, the gray tones are pretty much done. I'm gonna do the details now with the pencils. There was one flying marker. Okay, here I'm using two tools. I'm usually using, for details, technical pencil. This is usually 0.5 is usually the one I go to. And then one amazing pencil. I like Prismacolors, but I tend to use polychromos more because they have a they're greasy just the right amount, they're easy to erase, and they're overall very versatile. So you can do a lot of stuff. You can sharpen them and have all the details you want, or you can work with broader strokes and get a grainy texture. Those are really, and again, they don't smear when you have your hand over it. They're easy to erase, relatively easy to erase, and they provide a really black texture, not like a brown reddish or bluish or just simply gray. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the details because this is gonna be putting me back in my comfort zone when it comes to drawing a character. I need to know if I'm doing this right. Regarding the makeup, putting my glasses on. Old man. Okay. So I'm gonna try to keep that steady. Come on, what's a tripod good for if you can't keep it? There you go. Well, thank you. I'm trying, and believe me, those conditions, I'm holding the camera with my left and I'm drawing with my right, and this is kind of like, the camera is just like right under my chin. So I'm gonna make sure that it's not getting in the way and distracting me from what I have to do. This is a commission for a friend of a friend. Kind of been delaying this one, but eventually getting it done, and I wanted to have fun doing this one, so took my own sweet time between the first session and this one. I've had other stuff going on too, but something I'm not really good at is eye direction. There's always one eye that's kind of slightly off, and sometimes it's also about the width. A friend of mine was telling me that he was asking, actually, Tim Sale was telling me that one day he was asking, I can't remember which other, like, legend of comics. He was asking him for some sort of advice, I guess, to how to draw symmetrical enough so that, you know, the drawing wouldn't be too far off, too off balanced. And he said, so what is the hardest thing to draw for you? And that guy answered, the other eye. And that is so true. Because once you've established one of those eyes and you're very happy with the result, then the next challenge is to try to make the other one look great too, and symmetrical and all that stuff. Yeah, symmetry kills, exactly. Well, it's all about, you know, either you using a mirror or a light box, or, you know, and checking every once in a while, or on the pieces that really matter if you want to make sure that this is going to work. There's a few tricks to get away with it too, but I won't explain those now because right on top of my head they don't come up right away. So that might be reason for another session. All right, so it's really weird because the image looks darker as the original than it does on the camera. All right. Let's see what I can do here. I'm going to use a piece of tape. There we go. See, this is typically, the glasses is typically the thing that I'm gonna add some marker, some pencil, like that polychromos pencil later on, like on the side here, and probably outlining the character too, making it a little bit thicker. I think no. This is when I do pencils, I usually leave inks. I leave the pencil line. I don't ink it. It makes for a more subtle rendering, I guess. And because I'm adding so many fine details like the folds and the seams on the gloves and everything like that, if I was to add or highlight things with a marker, then I'd be screwed. I would have to do that all around on all the art, and you tend to lose some of the subtle results you get with just a pencil. Oh, the image is really blurry now. That's my job. I draw comics. It's interesting to see who's interested in following those Periscope thing. Hopefully, when this session is done, you'll do some research and see what other work I do. I have some stuff on Facebook. I have some stuff on DeviantArt. So there's a lot of pinup girls. I just recently drew Harley Quinn and Power Girl. So there's a mini series. There we go. Any comic book store. That's where comic books are sold, I think. It came out last November. Well, last issue was in December. Yes, comic book. There's actually, if you go back on my Instagram page, there's a few panels that have been posted. So you can see what it looks like. I am. That's the reason why the staging of those things is pretty hectic. I just started last week, actually. Hey, Michaela, how are you? It's really interesting to see people you appreciate their work, like David Yarden, and they just tag along for a while and come and check. We've never been properly introduced, but I love his work. Thank you, guys. Thank you for following and supporting. That's yeah, he's really good. Those guys are amazing. Before starting this session on Periscope, I was hoping I could be doing that with. Thank you, sir. Before starting this session with this commission, I was thinking of doing one with some colors, following up the first session I did, doing the layouts and the color chart and guide on this one, and switching to the original art that I was about to put in colors. And this is what I'm working on right now. It's a little bit of a tease. Maybe for next time, if I get to set the camera right and I can work from my computer directly. Well, that's exactly what I was doing here with the Betty. I just need to I just need to organize the tripod or whatever is going to support the camera a little bit better, so I can actually aim right and just focus on the coloring. Because as I said, that's taking a lot of focus, and you don't want to make the piece look just even slightly not as good as it should be. It kills the fun too if you have to focus on the camera every now and then. But I thought, I'd like to, I'd share the process every once in a while to show how this is working, how it's going along. Maybe later on I'll show you some of the things that I'm working on right now. Something I have to finish that I started a long time ago. There is a first session. There's a first session on this piece. I didn't start. I had done the pencils previously, so it was already done when I started shooting. I'm probably gonna do some drawing sessions too, but that's gonna be more for like things that need to be inked with a regular brush or even those thin markers that I usually use. Voila. Now I have to finish that